You may have heard of what Alzheimer's disease is, but there is a lot more to the condition than just the diagnostic symptoms and the deficits it causes to a patient's everyday life. Alzheimer's disease affects not only those who have it, but also the family members and caregivers of the patient.
In case you haven't heard what Alzheimer's is, it is a disease which manifests as one of the most common types of dementia. Dementia is a term for conditions that occur when the brain no longer functions properly, causing problems with memory, thinking, and behavior. In its early stages, dementia symptoms may be minimal, but as the disease progresses and more damage is caused to the brain, symptoms may begin to worsen. The rate at which the disease progresses is different for everyone, but on average, people with Alzheimer's live for 8 years after symptoms begin. This disease is affecting 747,000 people across Canada.
Although the brain does shrink as we age, the number of neurons we lose isn't too high. In Alzheimer's disease, it causes too many neurons to die, which impairs normal brain function. This is because of neural communication disruptors known as beta amyloid plaques being deposited in the cerebral cortex, which is the outer part of the brain. In addition, there is dysfunction and clumping of tau protein fibers, which are normally responsible for the transport of nutrients and other essential materials between neurons. This disruption further contributes to neuronal death and brain deterioration. The release of the neurotransmitter acetylcholine, which is a chemical involved with memory and learning, is decreased in Alzheimer's patients.
As you can see, the symptoms of Alzheimer's disease can be vast and vary significantly from person to person. The symptoms may change and worsen as an individual's health continues to decline. In the early stages, there may be changes in sensory and motor systems. Changes in olfaction, vision, hearing, and motor movements may precede other cognitive deficits. As Alzheimer's progresses, there are more noticeable cognitive deficits that occur. This may include memory loss, confusion, difficulties with planning, and problem solving. By treating early symptoms, it is possible to delay the progression of these symptoms.
A caregiver is an individual who regularly looks after a child, sick, elderly, or disabled person. Some common duties include toileting and bathing, food preparation, supervision during downtime, and taking vitals of the patient. A study by Wroblewski et al., published in Science Direct, shows how the strains of caregiving can affect the caregiver's perspective of their patient. Caregivers are more likely to assume that their patients have a lower quality of life as a result of their disease, while a patient is more likely to rate their quality of life more highly based on other factors. There is a discrepancy which has implications towards the caregiver's own mental state, as they may feel that the work they are doing is not as beneficial as it actually is. Caregiving is a strenuous job, both physically and emotionally, potentially leading to chronic stress. Chronic stress can lead to a decline in mental and physical fitness in caregiving individuals. Therefore, it is important to manage this stress.
I don't know that I would use the word undervalued or underappreciated, but I do think that people underestimate how difficult it is to be a caregiver. It's both like mentally and physically exhausting.
They are in certain aspects undervalued because people don't see how much work is required for them to do their jobs properly.
I think the attitude of a caregiver definitely impacts the quality of care. When you love your job, it really reflects in what you do. And I do think that patients or residents would pick up on the fact that you're not happy to be there. So I do think it would definitely impact quality of care. I think the most difficult aspect or frustrating aspect of working with residents who have dementia are the responsive behaviors. Many people with Alzheimer's react aggressively towards their caregivers. It's very difficult to provide that care to someone that's either resisting or refusing care or being physically or verbally aggressive.
Yeah, aggression is the biggest aspect, and it's difficult to direct an aggressive resident to get them to give them proper care. So it's very tedious and you have to be very patient in order to provide care, and constant direction and constant comfort in order to provide proper care.
I think the most important tip would be stopping when someone's refusing or being aggressive, coming back at a later later time or with a different strategy.
As we've discussed, it is important to consider the mental health of the caregiver as well. If you or any caregiver you know is struggling with the pressure of daily caregiving tasks, you may want to refer to resources tailored to supporting caregivers. You may want to visit the Canadian Mental Health Association's website or in person at one of their many branches around Canada. Public health associations such as the Hamilton Family Health Team offer workshops and support groups for caregivers. Online blogs such as the Alzheimer's Reading Room, Caregiver Warrior Blog, and Dementia Today may also help caregivers feel less alone in their struggles during the difficult times.